Hello to everybody from the European Arctic. My name is Ilona Mettiäinen and I work as researcher at the University of Lapland at the Artic Centre. I will tell, together with my colleague Martin Koth, about the SnowApp that we have co-designed in the Blue Action project, focusing on a ski resort here in Northern Finland. I will be doing most of the talking, but Martin will be available to answer any science-related questions you may have. So it's a much larger team than just the two of us. So from Ruka ski, the ski resort, we have Jusu Toivonen, and from the Arctic Centre we've also had Pamela Lesser first, and we have Professor John Moore and Roxana Contreras in addition to us. So Blue Action is a pan-European project that has very many working packages, most of them dealing with seasonal or long-term climate model issues. The working package number 5 includes 5 case studies on different fields. Ours is case study number 1, winter tourism centres in Northern Finland. Northern Finland currently has about 180 to 210 snow cover days per year, so more than half a year of snowy days. However, climate change is expected to change the situation in the coming decades, so we could be losing snow cover days by up to 30% by the end of the century. And according to this about 10 years old graph, we may have already lost about 20% of snow cover days in October. So especially the early season snow conditions are at risk. As already has been mentioned in the previous presentation, so snowmaking and storing of snow are increasingly used as adaptation strategies to the unpredictable or uncertain snow conditions early in the season. However, this may lead to energy consumption, like greenhouse gas emissions, that will then accelerate climate change, which would make it maladaptation. Also, it can be really expensive and thus not be sustainable economically for the companies. Also, the ecological impacts may have some negative impact on image of ski resorts. As we already heard, the availability of water in some parts of the world can be a problem. However, not really in Northern Finland. We have an abundance of fresh water, as you can see also in this picture. Anyway, there is a need for better prediction on the snow conditions, on the snowmaking conditions in the early season. And from this starting point, our project is working. So we are a multidisciplinary team working at the Arctic Centre of the University of Lapland here in Rovaniemi by the Arctic Circle, and we have been closely collaborating with Ruka Limited about 200 kilometers from here. Our work started most actively in the spring of 2017, and we are very close to finishing our case study. So our own final seminar will take place on Friday this week. I would invite everybody to participate, but it's going to be in Finnish so that we will reach the region stakeholders. We have 6-month forecast data from the German Climate Forecast System 2.0 from the German Meteorological Institute and University of Hamburg. And we have been doing very extensive co-design with the end user so that we can ensure relevance and also, as much as possible, user-friendliness of the climate service. And we have created this climate service in collaboration with Ruka Ski Resort, but all the time we have been keeping in mind the chance to replicate this service in other resorts after the project phase. The ski resort, Ruka, is one of the biggest in Finland. It has 200 ski days per year and about 400,000 skiers every year. They are usually the first to open the slopes on the first week of October. So this Friday they are going to be opening their slopes again. This year they are not the first ones alone, because together with them also Levi Ski Resort is going to open. And this happens based on stored snow. So Ruka stores snow, large quantities of it, enough to open 2 slopes on the first day. And then relying on more machine-made snow as well as natural snowfall, which is plentiful in the region, they will be able to open more and more slopes, up to 34. And they are a forerunner in environmental programs, so they are carbon neutral and they use green energy. So as I mentioned, this greenhouse gas emission issue in terms of snowmaking, so it would be more of an issue in other resorts, actually echoing Professor Scott's presentation earlier. But I still didn't mention it because it does influence the way people think about snowmaking. We started this process by closely working with Ruka Keskus Limited in order to find out what kind of knowledge needs they would have, what kind of questions they would have, on what kind of time scales. Would it be a few weeks? Would it be several months? How many months? And we have also visited the resort many times in order to collaborate in the different phases of our work. Also, we got to learn on a very practical level about snowmaking and the decision-making systems that Ruka has. So taking this list of questions and also the climate data that was made available to us by the German Meteorological Institute, DWD. So we've been going we have had this iterative process. We have been proceeding with the work, seeking what kind of questions we can answer with this data. What does this data enable? Can we maybe, well, anyway, like seeking for the common ground in these. There you can see the description of the data that we have received from DWD, and of course then the data and our climate service has been analyzed. And the result is that our prediction is reliable for 4 weeks. Just to go quickly, I'm skipping a lot of science. That is not my main field of expertise, as I'm a social scientist. So it seems that our climate service is rather good at predicting long periods of exceptionally bad conditions, like you can see on the left-hand side concerning the year 2018. However, because we are providing a forecast, there might be a cat appearing on the screen very so sorry. Because so we are giving forecasts on the snowmaking conditions and it's not the weather forecast. So when there was an exceptionally good year last year, you can't really see that so well in this prediction, because the great conditions were based on very high amount of natural snowfall. But the thinner stripe behind these, that actually that's the observed snowmaking conditions based on FMI data. So as you see, the forecast does correspond the observations rather well. Well, then this is how our SnowApp looks like at the moment. So you can choose the date range. In this view, it's so this is just a pic, not I'm not showing this from the browser. So you can choose the dates for which you want to see the forecast. You can, well, yeah, as you can see in here. And you can also choose the language. So we have 3 language versions: English, Finnish, and French. And if you use the different tabs in the app, so you can also get. Yeah. Oh, sorry. I will just explain something else first. So the colors indicate the cost of snow making costs. So the red and orange colors are either impossible or very expensive conditions for making snow. But the whiter the color is, the easier it is to make snow, and I mean easier in terms of less costs. And this picture that you see here shows the data for 2018 season start. So you can see that the first few weeks it was really impossible conditions for snowmaking. The higher the bar is, the higher the confidence in the forecast is. So as you see, it does change. And then, as said, so there's also the element of wind. So there's 14 days forecast of the wind conditions. So just to summarize, so our climate service provides reliable forecast on snowmaking conditions for 4 weeks, which is a remarkable improvement to the current 3 to 4 days weather forecasts, or just looking out of the window. And the data can be updated monthly. So basically, it just like gives every time 4 week step forward. This is essentially a decision-making support tool for ski resort management, because the forecast for 4 weeks enables managerial decisions that are not in the hands of all of the personnel. However, this is not meant for customer interface, at least not in this form. It's not a weather forecast, so it doesn't tell if it's nice skiing weather, because that's a slightly different issue, while they also have similarities, of course. And it doesn't include the element of natural snowfall. So as I already said, it seems to be particularly useful in predicting long periods of warm, well, like weeks of warm conditions in early season, like in 2018. While it's primarily meant for snowmaking and snow management, so of course this is vital information for also the other operations in the ski resort, and this is why it can also have some other uses, for instance in hiring of personnel in the ski resort. However, of course it's just a decision support tool. So this is a very early picture that shows that sometimes depending on the year, the app could suggest that it would be perfect snowmaking conditions at a certain time. However, if that also happens to be peak season, so then the ski resort would not use this information for making snow, because that would compromise some of the customer experience. And also like some timelines in terms of sales, so 4 weeks is not quite enough for everything, and also there's certain decision-making procedures that not everything benefits so much from this information. But as said, through better forecast on the availability of new slopes, so it is useful also in this sense. And yeah, so the potential this should be actually slide number 2. Sorry for this. So potential commercializable product would be a 6-month subscription of snowmaking conditions September onwards. So in March, it's not that important anymore, because snow doesn't have to be made for storage. So keeping in mind the replicability of the climate service, so we see that this might have potentially high commercial importance. And actually, it could be that it could serve very well, particularly those ski resorts that need to rely on snowmaking throughout the year for keeping the slopes open. And also, while this is not so much relevant in Ruka because they run on green energy, so maybe this could be also used for optimization of the snowmaking, so that there would be as little emissions as possible. But we have a very short time now here, so you can find our video from Vimeo. There's a link over there in this slide. It's about 3 minutes long. And there's a booklet available in Zenodo, and also the Blue Action website tells about our work, and there will be some new publications coming up in the coming couple of weeks. Thank you so much for your attention. And now, if you have any questions concerning the science or the technique part, so I suggest that Martin Koth would answer those questions. But I'm also happy to help in any questions in which are under my field of expertise. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ilona. We have time for